Well, I really like this laptop. And the reason for me liking it so much is it was one of the first laptops that I could ever remember reviewing over the last year that I didn't have to solve problems and then offer solutions to you within the review. That's pretty remarkable, as I spend most of my time doing just that. Now please slap that like button, because speaking of spending time, over the last 3 days I put 20 hours into this machine in order to get this review ready for you. My wife and kids aren't happy, so perhaps you will be. And then maybe my wife won't be so upset the next time I devote a ton of time into a laptop review. All right, let's rock and roll. This is my in-depth review of the Eluktronics MAX 17. The MAX 17 is a 17-inch chassis, hence the name, made of magnesium alloy and 4.7 pounds. That is 1.1 pounds lighter than the Aero 17. At 0.78 inches thin, it is one of the lightest and smallest 17-inch form factors that you can get in a gaming laptop today. The 9750H has a power limit 1 and 2 of 100 watts, and combined with the GPU will still pull 60 watts. The RTX 2060 is an 80-watt variant, but we do get Electro Boost on this model for 115 watts of maximum performance. There's 2 memory DIMM slots in total. Both are occupied with 8 gigabytes in each slot for dual channel 16 gigs of memory. There's 2 M.2 drives for storage, and the network interface card is the Intel 9560. The large 91 watt-hour battery should be good for about 5 to 7 hours on basic tasks. Right now there's a bug for Windows that's causing a little bit premature power drain. The display is Full HD, 144 Hz. It is IPS. The post-color calibration came in at 99% standard RGB and 76% Adobe RGB at 317 nits. The 230 watt power supply unit is very small in physical size. Very strong benchmark scores out of our MAX 17. No tuning here whatsoever. In the BIOS you can undervolt, and from the factory it comes with a -050 undervolt on the core and cache. We're using Electro Boost and maximum fans, letting this thing rip. Other than that, I did not do any tuning or tweaking. Very good performance here, I might add. Now in our static frame rate performance test, the top section uses the Electro Boost, the bottom section is with Electro Boost deactivated, and this was done all in the same scene. So we ran Electro Boost first for maximum heat soak for about 60 minutes, deactivated Electro Boost, and that's what you're seeing on the bottom scene, and you will see the temperatures slowly start to drop too, because this was all filmed at the same time. As far as frame rate performance on the MAX 17 with Electro Boost, well, it sure is nice getting that extra 35 watts, and as you can clearly see, a nice little frame rate bump as a result. All the thermal and frame rate performance you'll see in this 2-minute gameplay clip featuring 4 games. Well, I would just play each game for about an hour and then start recording randomly, and that is what I took. Overall, the temperatures of the GPU were remarkable. I don't think I ever saw them hit 80 degrees Celsius one time. And the CPU, depending on the wattage, of course, is going to dictate the thermals that you're going to get out of it, but it would typically run around in that mid 80 degrees Celsius part, and without any tuning, I thought that was pretty good, so enjoy.
On the left-hand side, we have a lock, a USB 3.1, and a separate mic and headphone port. On the right-hand side, we have a micro SD card and 2 USB 3.1s. On the rear, we have a 4-lane Thunderbolt 3, an HDMI, a LAN port, and the barrel power port. The very wide Windows Precision touchpad is very smooth, gestures nicely, and you can disable it by double tapping the top left-hand corner. The keyboard features a numeric pad, has zone RGB lighting, and it uses membrane keys. Travel distance of these keys is very shallow, and this was done to minimize weight and keep the laptop as thin as possible. 2 buttons above the keyboard allow us to cycle through power profiles and turn the machine on and off. I am happy to see the IR camera for Windows Hello return, but the location's not ideal. Check it out.
So the IR camera, 720p webcam, microphone, everything is located at the bottom of the bezel. I like that the IR camera has returned for the Max line, but the location of it can be a little bit awkward at times. Those that are using the Windows Hello with the webcam and everything located at the bottom may actually have to tip the display back a little bit in order to get their face in the center of the screen to satisfy that IR camera. Other than that, when using everything with good ergonomics as you would normally, keyboard strokes are going to look and sound like this. Maxing out the fans, you're going to hear that at first. It's going to dim itself out a little bit, but then the quality of my voice takes a hit too. So this is what we got with the current solution at this time.
The software is in a really good place right now. We have RGB control for 4 zones on the keyboard, 7 zones on the light bar in front of the laptop. We have 3 different performance profiles, one for that office, quiet type environment. We have the middle of the road one, which would be about the performance you would get from a traditional laptop. And then the electro boosted, no holds bar, all the wattage, which is what we featured for the benchmarks and gameplay. From there you can adjust whether you want to use max fan for the middle and fastest profiles, as well as some customization of that fan curve finally. On top of that, we can change the colors of the gaming center from red, blue, green, and purple. And lastly, the BIOS. There's 2 things I'm going to talk about in detail in the description below. One is the Q key function, and the other one is the undervolt feature within the BIOS. So please check out that detailed information in the description below.
So what do you think of the Max 17? Sure, it's not without its flaws. I wouldn't mind seeing the webcam up top. I would like to see the micro SD card reader become a full-size card reader. Perhaps some of that extra wiring and bigger card reader goes into account when you are factoring in weight. And when trying to cut weight on the laptop that's bragging about how light it is at this form factor, maybe that's something that was considered and it's just something we're overlooking as a consumer. Now, one of my favorite things about this laptop before we wrap it up is how the software is integrated with the hardware this time. And being able to max out the fans and set that maximum fan setting at the highest performance profile and the middle profile means we can run the quiet profile right here. We can run the maximum performance at the push of a button, get that maximum fan, push it again, and get a standard performance from the i7 and the 2060, but still have that fan maxed, push it again, and everything goes back to quiet. It's brilliant, and this is, from now on, this is how I want it done, just like this. All right, folks, links in the description below for all things featured in today's review. This laptop, the discussion about various things within the BIOS, and that's going to do it. I'm Bob of All Trades, and this is my in-depth review of the Eluktronics MAX 17.